Hello friends and potential friends. Well, it's another hot day in Central Florida. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 92 degrees, pretty much clear skies, and the UV index is holding steady at about 8 right now. I actually came out here to see if I could rake up some mulch to put around the okra, but all of my beds are in direct sunlight right now, and even though the place where I'd be raking is in the shade, I'd have to be in the sun to put the mulch out around the okra. So I'm not going to do that right now. A couple hours the sun will be going behind the trees and maybe I can get that done then. But I figured I'd just walk around and take a look at a few things, see what the hot sun does, and especially the UV index. We'll start with my little habanada, no heat habanero, kind of droopy. That thing has been producing. In fact, it's still loaded with blossoms. But this time of day, all the leaves hang down. I added another plant to my pineapple plantation. That's the one you saw me preparing to plant a couple weeks ago. Papayas are hanging down. I really want to get those planted out in the yard somewhere, but it's too hot right at the moment. Even the ginger's closing up all its roots, and it looks like I gotta do some pest control. Can you see that? That's the first of those guys I've seen this year. But he's going to have to come off of there because he will do some damage if I let him. So I'm going to have to remember where he's at. He's going to be going bye-bye. Peppers in my experimental bed. These are the Jimmy Nardellos, all drooping down. They still have plenty of fruit on them. I've been finding a few of those new I believe they're an Asian variety of stink bug. That's new to us down here. In fact, I haven't dealt with many stink bugs at all in the last few years. And even the turmeric is kind of curling up its leaves in the UV. There's the okra, which was my main point of coming out here. As you can see, it's all drooping down too. It'll perk back up as soon as the sun goes behind the trees, but I really need to get some mulch on that bed. And then over on the main beds, yeah, rosemary always looks good. It seems to be able to handle the heat, no problem. Peppers and basil, they're all kind of drooping. More basil over here, all kind of drooping. I've been pulling seeds off of the basil for the last couple of weeks. And the hot peppers are all suffering a little bit right now as well. There's some indications of white flies. Can you see that? The white on the bottoms of those leaves, that's white flies and white fly eggs. So I may have to mix up some neem or permethrin and take care of those guys. And at this time of day, just about the whole sweet potato bed is in the sun. And as you can see, they're all just kind of flat on the ground. And the collards at the far end are not looking real good right now either. Although we're starting to get a little bit of shade over at this end. In fact, I'm going to stand in the shade because I'm sweating too. But from now till about 3 o'clock, that shade will be kind of spreading across this end of the bed. And as soon as the plants get into the shade, they'll perk back up again. But just another indication of how things go in Central Florida when the sun comes out. Gardenia is looking pretty good for a change. It usually droops a little bit too. And the Florida avocado, hanging down a little bit, but so far it's handling it pretty good. There's last year's lemon tree from the grocery store lemons that I bought. And now I'm getting into another shady spot, thank goodness. There's the loquat I grew from seed last year. It's up about 2 feet or so. Seems to be happy back here. And my ponderosa lemon, still hanging in there. Still has a little bit of fruit on it. There's a couple of them and some tiny ones up there. And one I just discovered while I was mowing the other day that I'm going to have to be real careful with is this guy here. That's hanging all the way to the ground. I need to find some way to prop that up a little bit because it's going to be putting on more weight as it grows. And just a little bit more weight and that fruit will be hanging on the ground. All in all, things are doing about the way you expect them this time of day. this time of year. Fig tree's starting to see a little bit of shade. There's my yard art back there. Still haven't had any bees decide to move into it, but I keep hoping. Sugar cane's doing pretty good. Moringa's doing pretty good. About 8 foot tall now. And I'll probably be planting some winter squash in that bed before too long. Oh, and incidentally, the beauty berries are starting to ripen too. I won't be doing anything with them this year because, quite frankly, I think I've still got 10 or 11 half pints of beauty berry syrup. Didn't dwell enough or gel enough, so I call it syrup. But that's just a quick look around, see how things are going, see what happens every day this time of year. Even the basil in there is drooping. Quite frankly, I'm starting to droop a little bit myself, so I'm going back in with the air conditioner. Well, it's amazing the difference a few hours make. I think I recorded that first clip at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and now it's about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's gone behind the trees, and the garden's coming back to life, perking up and standing up. Not there completely yet, but they will. Peppers are still a little bit droopy, but they're starting to stand up nice, except for those bell peppers over there. They seem to be more susceptible to heat and the UV. Oh look, we got another, those are red Marconis. Sometimes I have to wait till all the leaves wilt to find out that there's any fruit on the plants. But they're starting to come back to life. Oh, and incidentally, so's the okra, and I did get them mulched. But I am still going to come out here and do some watering tonight. Yep, papayas are standing up again. Ginger's opened up. Turmeric's opened up. Basil's still drooping a little bit, but it'll come back too, especially after I hit it with some water. We're supposed to have 30% chance of rain this evening, but I've learned that 30% isn't enough to depend on. If I come out here and water, which I'm going to, we'll probably get some rain tonight. But I've learned if I don't come out here and water, we probably won't get any rain tonight. So anyway, I'm going to put this away and get out the watering hose and give the garden a little drink. See y'all on the next one.